Yo, what's going on, Archons? Yeah, I'm here again with another video. There's nothing, no series attached to this one, but it may become something. But today, what I wanted to just do is a little quick video about a deck I'm going to be playing on Tuesday on stream with the last remnants of the Advent calendar, as well as the what's it called? The two AOA decks, the naughty and nice thing I did on Christmas Day. So this deck falls into the category of my chase decks, which are decks that I want to have in the collection that have something in it that is unique to KeyForge and maybe a particular set. So this one is called Platinum Master, the General of the Height. I love the name of this one. And so this is, as you can see, Disc Brobnar Saurian. It is a Worlds Collide deck, and in case you can figure out from the motif here, it is an Ortannu deck. Ortannu is one of my absolute favorite cards for some reason. I don't know why it's not amazing. I just really enjoy Ortannu. I don't know why it's really good. I had an experience where someone had a French one. He's named D'Ortannu in French, and I just absolutely love it. The Ortannu's chains is actually some of my favorite art. I just love the purple theme and everything. Like, oh, they're my favorite. So that's why I like it. Now let's go into let's go into this deck, and I'll tell you some things about it, because there's some concepts in here. So it has Barn Raising, Berserker Slam, Calfine ×2, Grok, Iron Staff, Mog Hunter, Narp, 2 Gargantus Scrapper, which sucks, Mega Mog Hunter, and then Mog Hunter's Brew. I'm going to kind of go do this a little bit house by house just to get it more cohesive. So this house, go figure, Worlds Collide Brobnar is the thing that makes this deck kind of, it puts it in the meh category and brings it down. I do love the Barn Raising and the Berserker Slam. Like, here is fine. Grok's good, Iron Staff's good, Mog Hunter's good. Narp is actually not too bad. Everything's fine. It's just these Gargantus Scrappers are really quite useless and don't really help anything. They really bring it down being alphas. They're just going to clog the hand. I don't want to call Brobnar too often in this, but it does have some things that I do like in the Brobnar side of Worlds Collide. So obviously Berserker Slam's amazing. Having Calfine here is really nice. Grok is really nice. Mog Hunter, again, you see there's a lot of damage stuff here, and Narp is actually not too bad within this deck, and I'll explain why later. And then, of course, you have so there's a lot of ways you're dealing damage with this, so it's great. And the Mog Hunter's Brew is nice for none of the Brobnar creatures. It's going to go somewhere else, but that just gives you an idea of the Brobnar here. I'm not a huge fan, but I'll come back to the Narp in a second. Next up, we have Dis, which has the Exhume, is really nice. Inspector, I love it. Lilithal, Misery Exploit is really tight in this deck because it's our Ortannu. And then we have Rot Grub, E on the fringes, Library of the Dam, Scullion, Spider. Here's the Ortannu with the double bindings. So deal 2 damage to a friendly creature. This is why I like Narp in here, because it really makes it a really good target to just soak that damage, and I'm totally cool with that. And there's some other ones in Saurian as well that's really cool. And then I like the Ortannu chain because of what it's going to do. It really provides a nice ability to have Misery Exploit go, as well as you have Imp Spectre, which is pretty tight with the deal 2 damage to a creature, because you want to damage that and do some stuff. And then as well, if you just don't care about some of the stuff, you have the neat ability to use EE to save up a big turn with some of the stuff in here that you don't really care about. So I don't mind that either. Like Spider, I can take it or leave it. Scullion, I can take it or leave it. Misery Exploit, if it comes at the wrong time, that can be discarded. You just get ruthless with it. I mean, even if you have Exhume, you could just get rid of your Ortannu for the EE and then Exhume it back into play. So there's a lot of options there that I'm a big fan of. So that's where we go with the Dis. And then moving on to Saurian, we have Chant of Hubris, Legatus Raptor, Sandra Strix, double Golden Spiral. This is what really makes this deck tight, because you can abuse Ortannu in that way, which is pretty amazing to me. You also obviously have Strix, which you can use that way. There is some Taunt in here, I believe. Yes, here it is, Tricerian Legionnaire with the warding. We got Tribute in here. You have City State Interest. You have Gargantodon. You have 6 Emperor Tyrannus, and you have a Grimlocus Dux. So there's all these things in here that are really catering to the fact that you can just hit them. Like having a Gargantodon and a Grimlocus Dux means that your Ortannu, you can use those chains and just start smacking those things and not really worry about it. That's why I really like this. I really like the double Golden Spiral in this deck. So you can see, if you just look at the Dis and the the Saurians here, this deck seems bonkers, right? It's when you bring in the Brobnar that it's not quite as good because you're not wanting to go in Brobnar. Like you don't, like it's very creature based, the Brobnar, and they're not the creatures I want to call to do things. So I would like to get Brobnar out early and then be able to cycle into these other two houses where I really want stuff. But again, the double Golden Spiral is absolutely instrumental. I actually sometimes not sure if I want to play Gargantodon. This is a card I need to do testing when I'm doing these games coming forward, because I'm going to run a bunch of games with this deck. So I really want to see how this deck runs and figure it out. So this is going to go on a quest, I think, because I really like this deck. I love Ortannu. I love the Saurian and Dis in this, and I want to figure out how to make this work, because the rating isn't good, but I think it has the pieces to be good. So I'm not sure if this will get played because I'd almost rather leave the Grim Locust Ducks out there. Being an 11 power, I think there's very few things that will be bigger than it, and you're going to get a bunch of Ember on it. You can use the Chant of Hubris, use Strix potentially, Golden Spiral the crap out of it, and then Tribute on that as well. And then you're going to basically be able to Six Semper that and just do a huge burst. So I see the potential for burst here. So I'm really, really liking this Saurian. So this is this deck here, my Ortannu deck. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite, it's my favorite Ortannu deck. I have another one that's kind of cool, but it doesn't do as much work. Again, the Ember control isn't huge in here, but I mean, you have enough, like between the Theros Centurion, the Tribute, and then having stuff in Dis as well. There's not a lot in Dis, but there's enough. The point is every house has a little bit of Ember control, so I like that. I'm okay with that. It's just this Brobnar is, it's not that it's bad Brobnar. There's definitely way worse Brobnar out there, but it's just that, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't want to call it. That's the truth of the matter. I want to call these other houses. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is Legatus Raptor and the Theros Centurion are really good neighbors for NARP, because of the fact that you're going to be fighting with them all the time, so you don't care about the inability to reap. So that's one thing that I remember that I like about it is especially like I kind of like NARP being on a flank even and just loading up the other side, and you just throw your Theros Centurion next to it beforehand, and then you can drop the NARP, or depending how things come, it gives you that ability. So yeah, that's this deck. I really like it. You'll see it in action on Tuesday. Hopefully I'll be able to get some really interesting insight as I go down the 10 game deck quest with this and really try and figure out how it hums. So I'm going to be doing this for the next little bit, and I'm also, please let me know any suggestions for videos you would like to see. Is there something you would like me to do in particular? Is there maybe the style in which I analyze, or something you want me to analyze certain decks? I got some really cool suggestions on Twitter, so I'm going to put those all together and kind of maybe do a little poll and see what people want. But for now, I just wanted to do a video today because I've been enjoying doing a daily video. It's kind of become a routine for me now, so I'm going to try and keep that going. So here was a look at Platinum Master, the General of Height, my Ortannu Unchained deck, and let's see how it rolls, and let me know your thoughts on this, okay? And as always, everyone, may your Ember never be stolen and your keys forged properly. Have a good one.